I'm just going to wait for some people to tune in. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy last 2 days of November. Say hi in the comment. Let me know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, definitely let me know it's your first time so I can give you a shout out. And if you guys can hear me, let me know in the comment because I had to mute my computer from all this beeping. I am extremely exhausted this morning. I'm literally just coming back from USCIS. I was at USCIS Immigration Office at 6:45 a.m. this morning for my client's interview. Okay, let's see. Hi, Facebook. Hi, YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. Hi, Instagram. Good morning, Earl McVenny. Good morning, Sarah. How can I change my name while I'm a green card holder? You're going to have to do that by court order, or if you're doing it based on divorce. So it depends on, basically you can change your name either by court order, like going through the courts, by divorce, by marriage, or when you become a US citizen, you're usually given the option to change your name at that time. So you can also change your name then, you know. Um, Ms. Kramer said, do you help individuals getting married to US citizens? Absolutely. Yes, I handle marriage based immigration cases. Good morning, Sexy Shayna. Good morning, Brazen Lawyer. You're, well, obviously you're up early. It's 9 o'clock. Good morning, Krishna from Poughkeepsie, New York. Like I was saying to you guys, I am exhausted. I probably have sleepy eyes. I only got like 4 hours of sleep. Anybody that knows me knows I am not a morning person. So I don't really know why USCI schedules interviews at 7 a.m. But, obviously we have to be there at 6 something. But anywho, so it's going to be a long day. And I don't drink coffee. So it's going to be a long day for me. But anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration attorney. I represent clients all 50 United States with immigration matters, your marriage-based cases, like the person that just asked, your naturalization, your VAWA cases, humanitarian-based cases, conditional removal, basically family immigration, anything of that nature. I will be happy to assist you. My phone number here is 407-995-6567, and you can also send me a text on WhatsApp, 404-333-8751. So today I want to talk about separation and whether or not you will still qualify to self-petition by yourself if you've been separated. So let's first of all start with what self-petitioning means. Self-petitioning means when you petition without your spouse for a green card. In this particular instance, I'm specifically talking about in an abusive relationship where your spouse has been extremely cruel to you, or has committed battery against you. So if you have a spouse that's abusive to you and, you just basically had enough, and you guys separated, the question I get a lot is, we've been separated for a while, for a couple of years even, am I still eligible to file for a VAWA and get my green card on my own? So the answer is yes. And let me go through the caveats. And I can see your questions, guys. Feel free to ask your questions in the comment. Once I finish my line of thoughts, I'll answer your questions. So this is how VAWA works. So, you can submit a petition based on an abusive spouse to get your green card if you're currently married to the person, or you're currently divorced from the person, and that divorce happened within 2 years before you submit your petition. Meaning, after 2 years, if you submit your petition after 2 years, then you no longer are eligible. So you want to submit your petition within the 2 years. So the confusion now for a lot of people who they're separated and they've been living without their spouse for years, but they're not divorced. The first thing I would say is that you want to make sure that you're not actually divorced, because a lot of times, people can get divorces without the other spouse, after, a while of, attempting to serve the person, or, a judgment being defaulted on. So you want to make sure that you're in fact not divorced. But if you're not divorced and you've been separated, as long as you have not remarried somebody new, you can certainly submit a self-petition on your own. Again, there's still requirements that you need to meet, because you still need to show that at some point you and that spouse lived together. I cannot stress this enough. Cohabitation is a requirement for approval of a vow case. Cohabitation means that you and your spouse at some point live together. You can't be living in Texas and your spouse is living in California and you never live together, and you submit a case based on abuse. You're not going to get approved. You need to have cohabitated together. There's no timeline requirement. There's no requirement of how long you live together, but you must show that you did in fact live together at some point. So basically, the long and short of it is, yes, under these conditions I just mentioned, you can definitely file for a VAWA green card if you are separated from your spouse, as long as the divorce hasn't happened, as long as you can show, the main prong, which is cohabitation. You're a person of good moral character. Your spouse was, extremely cruel, abusive towards you. And you entered your marriage into good faith, and you were actually free to marry, meaning that you've done a proper divorce, or you are not like encumbered in another marriage. Okay, let's see some of the questions here. Ms. Cranberry says, I'd like to have you help me with my baby father. I would love to help you, Ms. Cranberry. Call me, 407-995-6567. Schedule a consultation. Let's see what you qualify for, and then we can take it from there. Good morning, Thomas, on Facebook. Let's see what else we have here. Husband disappointed. I don't know if this is like a continued question. Husband disappointed and the wife is trying to file green card. Husband disappointed? Do you mean the husband disappeared, or is this a continuation of another question? This is for, where is this person? Let me just say, you have to, this is for Peter K254. If you can just retype the question, because the question is not very clear. Masani says, will they go after my employer for unauthorized work? Well, I mean, I can't say what USCIS is going to do or not do. I do know that recently they are trying to reduce, employer raids due to that. But the key thing, though, is if you worked under the table, and I say this all the time, and you're married to a U.S. citizen and you're submitting your petition, you should be honest about that and write that in there. Generally, if you worked under the table, and as long as you've never claimed to be a U.S. citizen on paper or to anybody, you usually will be forgiven for that if the person is a U.S. citizen. It's not the same, if you're married to like a green card holder. Just don't lie about it, because, if they find out, then you put yourself in more of a bad situation. Bakare 77 says, how about financial abuse? Yeah, and as you can see, that's why I said extreme cruelty. And I didn't use the word physical, because extreme cruelty can come in many forms. Extreme cruelty can come with financial abuse. It can come with sexual abuse. It can come with verbal abuse. It can come with emotional abuse. It can come with psychological abuse. It could come with abuse of the legal system. It can come with physical abuse. So as you can see, there are many things in totality. When you combine it, makes somebody abusive. And it's not always physical, or sometimes physical is not even there, or sometimes the abuse is even worse than being physical based on what they do to a person's mind and psyche. So, definitely if you're someone dealing with financial abuse, it's definitely something to look at. And I almost want to bet that a lot of times when you see people dealing with financial abuse, there's usually a little bit more, like we usually will see, when we do more screening, we'll usually find a little bit more from an emotional and psychological standpoint as it relates to that financial. Okay, so Peter says, I mean, the husband disappeared and wife is trying to file a green card. Is that possible? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question still. If you want that person, the wife or whoever you're referring to call me, they can call me to schedule a consultation, 407-995-6567. OJ Blazin said, after a vow approval, can someone divorce the abusive spouse without her consent? Well, why are you trying to divorce the person without their consent? Like, divorce them, so I don't do family law. So that's going to be very, very specific depending on what state you live in and what the rules are in that state. But typically, I'm just going to give you a general typically. So don't quote me on this, guys. Typically, when you submit a lawsuit, which essentially is what a divorce is, you file a divorce petition against your spouse has to be served. So now, whether your spouse chooses to be incognito or not servable is a different question. But you can't just go to a courthouse and say, well, I want to submit this petition and make sure my spouse is not notified. That's not going to happen. They have to attempt to serve your spouse. They have to attempt to find your spouse to serve them. And then if your spouse is not available to be served, then that's a different story. And, different courts deal with that differently because that's state specific. Now, if the question is, so that's the answer to that question. However, if the question is, can you submit a valid petition without your spouse knowing, without your spouse's consent? That is how you should be submitting it. Your spouse would never find out unless you go tell your spouse, which you shouldn't be telling your spouse because you put yourself at risk, especially if you're dealing with an abuser. So even USCIS will not send notification or mails to you. They would send it to your attorney. So Mabe says, I'm separated from my husband for about 4 months now. I just filed for my vow in August. I have all the evidence. My question now is, I'm pregnant. Do I have to file for divorce or stay separated? If you already submitted a vow petition, it's going to be up to you. If this is your first time tuning, you know that I always say, so for those of you that come from me saying that I'm trying to break people's marriages up, I always say it is not my place to tell somebody whether they should stay in a marriage or not. That is your business and what you want to do. That being said, if the question is me being separated or divorced, does that affect my vow petition? The answer is no, because you submitted your vow petition before you in fact got divorced. So whatever you choose to do, separated or divorced at this point, it doesn't matter because your vow petition has already been submitted, Okay. Let's see what other question. Sharon says, good morning, Ma. I had a consultation with you last year. So do I need to pay for another consultation fee before I can talk to you again? Absolutely. That's been a year. 12 months have gone by. I don't know who you are, but absolutely. You have to pay for another consultation. If you consulted with me a year ago, I don't know what the facts of your case are. And so, for me to counsel you on whatever the new facts of your case, you definitely have to pay for a consultation again, so we can talk about it. Now, and if you came to me like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, then you don't need to pay another consultation. I can, do a follow-up if you had follow-up questions. But if it's a year, definitely, because we need to, get back up to speed on what your case is. Good morning, Cecilia. Happy Monday. Good morning, Pam. Happy Monday. Good morning, Dev Chen. I hope you guys had an amazing Thanksgiving. I did. It was very restful. I really needed the rest. Maybe that's why I had to be up so early this morning. Good morning, Adwa on Facebook. Okay, do you guys have any other questions? Let me see if you have any other questions. If not, I'm going to jump off and continue my day. Let's see. Sorry, Facebook. I'm just trying to scroll through my other screen on Instagram just to make sure I don't miss any other questions. Okay. Good morning, Paulette. How are you? Good morning, Zaza Tati. Okay, guys, I think that's all the questions that I have. Happy Monday, Gideon. That's all the questions that I have. Oh, yeah, before I forget, guys, we are having a Cyber Week only price reduction in our immigration fees. This is for your legal fees if you qualify for an immigration service that we can perform. If you pay in full, you get 30% off, which, as you know, is a big discount. Or if you choose a payment plan, you get 20% off. So call us. It is for this week only. It's till December 3rd. I think it's December 3rd. I got to check my calendar. But basically, Cyber Week is this week only. After this week, you do not qualify. So, if you've consulted with us before and, you wanted to, you were on the fence or, you're trying to save some money, this is a good week to get in there. Okay, guys. All right. Again, my number is 407-995-6567. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp, 404-333-8751. All right, guys, I hope you have a lovely week, and I'll be back live tomorrow between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys, bye.